All right, so what happened with this vehicle here is the customer bought this vehicle certified pre-owned. They decided that they didn't want the RDX or the all-wheel drive emblem on the vehicle. So the actual salesman, they brought it back to someone else, and unfortunately, that person didn't have a lot of knowledge of how to remove an emblem, especially an emblem on a plastic tailgate. And what ended up happening is this person used an eraser wheel on plastic. You can use it, but you gotta be super careful because it will create a lot of heat and burn it, and that's just what it did here. So we have a WEO, and if you don't know what a WEO is, it's basically a we owe the customer a repair, and that's what we're gonna do today. Let's talk about what we have here. We used some plastic filler, and then we did a primering of the area. The emblems are in this area. The customer does not want the emblems here anymore. She does, however, want the A spec and, of course, the A emblem. So we're going to be doing a full refinish to this actual panel. This is sanded with a P600, and the rest of this is also sanded with a P600. We're going to be using a clear base first. Now, when I first started on YouTube over 8 years ago, I started using a clear base, and no one really knew what it was. And if you're new to the channel, or if you've been here for a long time, I'm going to re-explain it for you so you have a good idea of what exactly it does, because I've learned a lot about it over the years as well, and the basic benefits of it. This is blending additive. Now, this has a lot of different names. The most popular one you'll find in PPG is DBC 500. In Sikkens, it's called blending additive. In Standox, it's called colorless. It's called a whole bunch of different things, but the one thing that you need to know is what it is it's clear base coat, and it really is going to help you out when it comes to blending. Now here we're not going to seal because it's been prepared with a 600 grit. I'm going to go ahead and just rebase this whole entire thing. The reason why is it's already black. We don't know if we have one little area that we overlooked that might have a little burn through. We don't know. We've looked over it. It looks good. Sometimes things just happen. We do know one thing. We have a perfect color match in this color. We're confident enough that we can go ahead and spray the whole entire tailgate and get away with no mismatch of the color. And this just gives us good confidence moving forward. I am going to put the blending additive on first, and the reason why you would use it is because this is very porous because it's been sanded, right? And what this blending additive will do if you were blending is it's going to go into the surface of the actual finish. So any metallic or any kind of base coat that you have, it doesn't lay into the porousness or the scratches of the 600 grit. And what that can do is, since this is not a completely even surface when it's sanded, because it scratches all over the place, they're micro scratches, what ends up happening is those metallics are going to sit in a disarray, but the blending additive gives it a nice smooth finish once it dries, that you can go ahead and put your base coat on, and it's going to lay flat. So think of this as like a nice smooth barrier. It also will go over and fill in any micro sand scratches, but don't use it in that case really to get yourself out of or work any miracles. We're going to put this on first. We've been using the WS400, and then we'll move on to the actual base coat. Another change you're going to see on the channel is I'm not going to be using these tacky tack rags anymore. I was talking to a lot of my buddies. I even posed a question in my Facebook group, and I asked what's the best to use. A lot of people say Crystal as well. In my brand, they have Sikkens, and it's not actually like a tacky tack rag. It's kind of like got a little bit of a rough surface, so if you got any type of dirt, you can kind of denib it a little bit. It'll pull the nib out. This is a little too tacky. We're going to go ahead and use it until the new ones come in, and we're basically just going to go over the surface. Sometimes these will leave a residue, and it'll be before clear, and you're not sure like what's it going to look like once you clear it. Sometimes you think maybe I should put some more base over it, and sometimes it's in an area of your like past your blend. So this is going to be the last time we use these on the channel. We're also going to be using the Ion Star. Now, I don't suggest if you're a do-it-yourselfer or even a painter that you buy it yourself. This is an investment for your shop. It's $2 grand. It's an expensive tool. You can get away without it, but it does help. It's a game changer. It really does. So if you can talk to your boss and see the benefits of it, it really does help. But again, do-it-yourselfers, don't even think about it. You don't need it. Now, I'm kind of weird with guns. I usually get guns, I put them down, and then I pick them back up. That's what's happening with the LS400. I haven't used it for a little while. My buddy came over, he helped me with a 3T5 Lexus. He says, why aren't you using it? I said, well, I've been using my DV1. I love it, and I do. He uses this, it just breaks up the paint, but you can't use it from factory settings. You gotta take this guy here, and you gotta wind. So I wind it all the way to the left, and I'm gonna wind it just about less than a half of a turn, and then this guy's at wide open. I'm running this around 20 PSI. This thing breaks up the actual paint so fine. And you might ask, why are you putting clear base over, again, why are you putting clear base if you're putting base coat? Well, I do find that the base coat lays smoother over a clear base. Now, another thing I'm really getting good about is letting things dry. Material and science, you can't cheat it. Let it do its thing, and then when you come back and put your color on, you're gonna have a much better surface. Now, some guys will use this as a wet bed, and if you've been a fan of the page for a long time, you know I teach that a wet bed can help you get out of a difficult color. And what that would mean is that you would put your actual clear base on wet at the edge of your blend, and then you would blend color into that so it could land on something wet. So you can use this in two different ways. You can use it like this, and this way it's going on the whole surface, and we're gonna put base on it, or you can put it wet, very wet, and then blend into it right away. A common question I get is, how long do I let it dry? Well, that depends on what you're using it for. 2 applications. This is the application I'm using it for right here. We're gonna let this dry for 10 minutes. I got the paint code 893P, Majestic Black Pearl. This is one of Honda and Acura's newer colors. It's a beautiful pearl. We're gonna put it on here. We'll probably get out of it in 1.5 coats since it's all black anyway, so black primer. And the cool thing about the dealership, we always go into the lot and find exactly where the emblems go. So basically she wants to keep the A spec and she wants to keep the A emblem, but these two she wanted to remove. And it's gonna be very difficult for you to remove emblems once they've been baked on to plastic. If the salesman had come to me, I would have told them no, or I would have told them, hey, get in writing that if we go to remove it, there could be some removal of the paint. Sometimes you take these emblems off, they take the paint off with them because that paint is so thin on a tailgate. If I were to have done it, that's what I would have done. But you know, salesmen that just want things right away. And unfortunately, that's what happened in that situation. And even so, if you get the emblem off, because when you go to take the emblems off, let's be honest, the adhesive always stays on the car. It never cleanly comes off with the emblem. It always stays on the car. So, and even if you get it off of the vehicle, you can use some emblem adhesive remover. Sometimes it will still leave an etching mark from the sun, and that will have to be lightly sanded and polished. So there's always those situations when you're removing emblems. In this case, unfortunately, it was the worst case scenario, but we're here taking care of it for the customer because that's what we've done. Now that it's been drying, we'll head back in there and we're gonna lay down 1 coat of base. We're gonna put down the coat of base in the primer area. And then since everything else is already coated in that base coat, because it's scuff clear coat, we'll go with the second half over everything. And that should dry really nice. So let's hop back in there, load up our gun with that paint. Now I'm not gonna tack it anymore, but I will use the Ion Star in between all coats. Now obviously you can see how well that covers, but let's go ahead and give it a little flash off. I'm saying about 8 minutes, let it completely flash off. We'll go over the whole entire thing after that. 1 coat will be sufficient enough, and then we'll allow it to dry for clear coat. We're now ready for the second coat. We'll coat the whole entire panel, and we should be done after that. Here it is after the second coat. We sprayed it on wet. We're not soaking wet, but we're wet enough that you should see the reflection. And obviously on camera, it looks a little bit wetter than it actually is. Now, a lot of folks, they don't understand something, that you want that silky smooth base coat, and that doesn't necessarily always come from the type of paint it is. It comes from what's under it. It's not really always gonna lay silky smooth if you're not putting the clear blending additive down first, because remember, that base coat is going into something that's porous. It's got sand scratches everywhere, so it's gonna suck into it. When you put that layer of blending additive down, it creates that barrier. Now we're putting that base coat over it. It's laying nice and smooth on it. And I guarantee you, once this dries in about a good 10 minutes, it's gonna look nice and smooth. Here it is after 10 minutes. You see how silky smooth that is? And that's exactly what we want our clear coat to lay on. Now these tailgates are funny. They've got weird dents in them, or weird pressure points where the mounting tab in the back is clipped in, and you can see them in certain areas. And it drive me crazy in the beginning because I would think I missed the dent or something, but these guys are definitely weird. But that's the finish you want. We've got these to clear coat and some NSX parts to clear coat as well. You can see how I mount everything up precisely so we have full refinish. I don't just throw things on a stand and paint it. We got full refinish of every single edge on the surface of each and every one of these panels, and that's the way I do things. So we're gonna go ahead and get these all painted and cleared. We're using a WS400 Series 2, 26 PSI, PC clear coat. Let's lay it down smooth and get this one back to the customer. Here's the first coat, guys. You can see all those waves. You know if you're putting it on too heavy, if these guys over here start to have runs on them. And I would always run it down here and then have these run here and just hope that the license plate covered it. But it's looking good for a first coat, so I'm happy with that. But my suggestion to you all is, if you guys are waiting for paint to dry, go do something else, because you're gonna rush and get in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek into my RSX build. We stopped at episode 2. That was an hour and a half long. That was a great episode if you missed it. Before episode 3, which is gonna be like polishing and assembly, I just wanna show you guys that are watching this video what it's looking like back together. Some of you might have seen it on Instagram, but I wanna show you guys what it's looking like back together. And if you're a fan of the channel, and you've been around for a long time, you might remember when we painted this guy in 46V, it's almost all back together. Some of these projects drag on a little bit longer than we'd like, but this thing is looking super, super good. What's also looking great is this RSX that's coming back together. This is the pride and joy of myself and the channel. This is everything I've ever learned, self-taught, right here in one vehicle. So this is a big deal to me. This vehicle is probably by far some of my best work, and it's coming along. I'm mocking up the whole interior, so when we go to do the interior, we can have everything in place. If you guys are not familiar with this vehicle used to be completely white. It's a full color change, not an exterior color change with different color door jambs. This is a full, true color change, completely. and we did just an amazing job, and we had a lot of body work. Even this whole entire quarter panel was body worked. You can see how nice that actually came out. And so we're just working through the phases of getting everything all back and done and back together. You can even check out when I mean like full color change. It's a full color change. I mean, you cannot find any white on this vehicle. The whole engine was removed. Just a really cool job. We still have a lot of work to do left on it, but make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you can see a little bit about the polishing, a little bit more about the assembly, because the assembly's just as important as the actual vehicle itself, so nothing gets scratched, everything gets put back together. So we finished up on first coat here about maybe 10 minutes ago, so we're gonna go ahead and lay down the second now and get it all done. And it's not about what it looks like now, it's about what it looks like in the morning. So we got our alarm set for 6 a.m. We'll come back here, I'll show you guys what it looks like. Until then, guys, this is Brian from Paint Society reminding you, don't overthink it, it's just paint. I'll see you guys on the next episode.